Hello everyone, and welcome back to Conquer the Frontier at the New Frontier. It's February now, and a rather frosty one, and the snow has started to fall, which has left a nice dusting covering on our new BGA, and that has been whirring away, making some biogas from the silage we put into it, and it was very quick at processing, so Nordic and I have actually switched this out to tone it down a little bit so it doesn't process quite so fast. But you can see that the bank balance is looking really strong, at 95,678, which is awesome. And that's thanks in part to our sawmill, which is selling the wood goods, the heating plant, which is processing the wood chips into electricity as well, and our greenhouse goods, which is selling the fruit and veg, which we did sell a big batch of last month. Now, the focus for today is going to be forestry. That's right, Nordic and I have got some plans to potentially buy a excavator, which is going to work as a forestry machine, which is probably the best cost-efficient way that we can think of to get it running. But to do that, we've got to raise a lot of funds. We need about 140,000 to raise the 220,000 that we need for all the equipment. And we've also got a little bit of money to spend this morning, around 11,500, to buy a winch and to buy a log grab for our Fendt Xylon, because we want 2 tractors running to do some of the log winching and loading. That will make the job much quicker. So Nordic has hopped in with me, and we're going to head down to the dealership and buy a log grab and a winch for the Fendt. Cool, it certainly is a blistery morning, isn't it, Nordic? The snow is tapping the windscreen, but yeah, the wipers are not on, which is alright for the moment because the snow doesn't seem to be setting, eh? Alright, we have made it to the shop where we can buy the winch and the log grab, so maybe Nordic can hop out and purchase that. There we go. There is the winch and the log grab. The log grab is a slightly different one to the one we were using with the Massey, so we'll be giving that a go. It's part of the Hessler logging pack, which actually does come with a forestry cutter that can attach to the back of the tractor. Nordic and I did debate purchasing that, but we think for longevity and future-proofing it would be better to get a more robust forestry machine, one that can deal with the larger trees, and one that is self-propelled, so we don't have to use a tractor for the job. Right, there we go. Log grab is grabbed, the winch is grabbed, and yeah, there we go. We can open and do all the things we need to. Fantastic. Right, well, let's head on back, and yeah, it's going to be a rather wintry start to the day for our logging operation. Alright, we've made it back, so I'm just going to shut off the engine here, and I think Nordic is going to use the Fendt to begin with. We are going to jump in the Massey, and the main sort of starting point is really going to be ensuring that we have enough wood chips in our sawmill and enough wood in our sawmill. We'll have to do some winching direct to the sawmill to make sure that we have enough. Let's just make sure we've got enough in there, and I'll top up the heating plant as well. So I think that is very much the plan. I will be ensuring that these 2 productions are full. Crikey, it has nearly taken all of the wood chips. It has indeed taken all of the wood chips. Wow, that is pretty mega. So yeah, we'll definitely have to do some wood chipping later to make sure that the biomass heating plant does not run out. But I'm going to grab the front loader, the log grab, and the winch, and Nordic and I are going to set to some logging work. So we'll crack on with that and see when we've made some good progress. Okay, so that's a good enough amount of trees cut down. Nordic is just getting the measuring stick so we can start to chop these down to length for loading onto the trailer. And yeah, I was able to cut down a few trees and winch them out. And we also got the sawmill and the, well, just the sawmill filled up with wood. And there's a little bit of wood over there if we were to do some wood chipping later on. I had a bit of a faux pas with the last tree I cut down. I had lumberjack enabled and accidentally deleted it whilst I was trying to delimit. So that was a bit silly of me. But yeah, whilst Nordic is cutting the logs down to size, we'll grab the trailer in readiness. And plan is that Nordic and I are hopefully going to try and load this at the same time with both tractors. We'll see how that goes. Just thinking of the best place to kind of try and position this. Maybe 90 degrees to where we're going to load would be best. So perhaps sort of in line with the fence xylon is my best guess, but I could be entirely off. We will see. Okay, so Nordic and I have discussed, and we think the trailer is best to go here, sort of in line with the trees, but at a place where we could sort of grab some logs and then pull forward and a little bit sideways to come and load up. So I think we're probably best off just detaching there. There we go. And yeah, am I going to need a rear weight? Probably am, so I'm going to have to trade the winch for the weight. And that's a good point actually, because there is no second weight that we have, which means that Nordic may have to use some other means to weigh the back of the xylon, but maybe it's heavy enough that it doesn't need it. There we go, rear weight attached, so we can get into loading position. Right, Nordic has finished cutting down the logs to size and is jumped in the fence, so we are good to start doing some loading. I'll try and do my best, as it is always a little bit difficult, and now we've got the added complexity of the snow, which makes the traction a little bit difficult. Nordic has got the new Kessler log grab, which, oh yeah, means he's able to pick up 2 logs at a time. That's hopefully going to make his life much easier. Maybe we should have swapped out this log grab. We'll let Nordic go first because he's got the 2. And then we can load in separately. Oh dear. Say Nordic had an easy job. I think he overshot the log trailer by somewhat. Maybe it was the sort of depth perception there. Right, let's just unload what we've got. There we go. And back out of here. Did not load that very well. It was a little bit closer towards the front. It is very hard to get the position right with the angle of view. So I will carry on, do our best to get loaded, and we'll probably end up doing a couple of trips to the sawmill. We might invoke the pickup truck to help with doing some quick trips there and back. Righty ho. Nordic and I have done 2 loads. We're moving on to the next load. And we're actually going to swap tractors. So I'm hopping in the Fendt, and it seems like the Fendt has got enough of a rear section that it is weighted down quite nicely. Oh, the snow has disappeared. I was waiting for that to happen. The temperature creeped up above freezing. We could see the snow disappear from the tree foliage. So yeah, it was only a matter of time before it became available, or disappeared from the ground rather. Right, we will use the Fendt to load for the first time, and the Kessler grab, which can actually pick up more than 1 log. The base game one that we have on the Massey is not as good as picking up multiple. In fact, it can only really pick up singular logs. So yeah, it'll be interesting to use this one. Okay, yeah, I need to just set a binding. There we go. I can close the grab now because yep, I had to actually remove the binding because the binding on the Massey for opening and closing the crane actually opens and closes the rear window, which is really useful. So yeah, I had to unbind it, and now I can bind it again. Oh, I am really not getting on with this log grab. It is seemingly a bit more difficult to get the knack for. Maybe I need to come in over the top and pull the logs towards. Let's see how this goes. Is that going to work? There we go. I've pinched it, but it's sliding out already. And I don't think I am particularly good at this. Okay, we're back from the last load we've just done. Nordic is putting the trailer in the shed, and I think we've come to a bit of a conclusion that the wood that we've taken to sell at the sawmill obviously does not fetch as good a price as if we were processing the wood through our own sawmill to sell for wood goods. Yeah, which makes perfect sense. So yes, we've reached a conclusion that with the wood we have left, we are not really going to be making the money that we need to buy the excavator and the wood processor. So we are switching tactic, and we are going to just be taking the rest of the wood over to our own sawmill and to the heating plant, where Nordic is going to set up the wood chipper on the back of the Massey. So what we'll do is we'll just winch everything over there, so it's going to be usable, rather than us loading more to the sawmill, or the other sawmill I should say. So we're going to end up sort of hemorrhaging a bit of profit money, which means probably we're not going to be able to buy the excavator and wood processor today. That might have to wait for another time, unfortunately. But such is the situation. Right, yeah. Apparently moving this cable moves the logs like that. They end up doing a bit of a jump around. So yeah, we'll just leave that one and take these 2 big ones. Right, with the fence pulling, should hopefully be winched in no time. So let's take these 2 over here. There is a tree which I left from earlier, which does need to hopefully get shunted into the sawmill. I think Nordic is probably just going to end up wood chipping most things and can obviously just roll the trees into the sawmill as we see fit. So yeah, I'll just leave those there. Oh, that log has spawned into the sawmill, so that's good. So yeah, the last portion of today is just going to be some winching and wood chipping as per usual, and then hopefully have some overnight wood product creation and some heating from the heating plant, and also some greenhouse fruit and veg should hopefully raise enough money. And shut it down. There we go. We have finished the winching of the remaining logs over to the sawmill. The sawmill is completely full of both wood and wood chips, as is the biomass heating plant. And yeah, that means that we're going to be able to produce some good wood building materials overnight, generate some electricity from the biomass, and along with our greenhouse, hopefully generate a good amount of money overnight. Oh, you snuck up on me, Nordic. There you are. But yes, it has been a busy day. We have not met our goal of buying the excavator and the wood processor, so that will have to wait until next time. And I'm hoping that next time in March, we should actually be able to drill our new field. That is it for today. Hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks, or things you'd like us to do, feel free to leave a comment. And as always, check out Nordic's channel for his perspective of today's session. Hope to see you again next time on Conquer the Frontier. And until then, catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.